So I know you guys are watching it. You're loving it. Miss Marvel every Wednesday on Disney Plus with an amazing cast. It's just so much fun. And you heard about the Illuminaunties, so we just decided to go ahead and grab one this week. It's Aunty Ruby herself, Anjali Bhimani. Anjali, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. We were just, before we started this podcast, we have to say, we were both talking about how much we hate spoilers. And as
Mhm.
soon as you said that, I was like, oh no, is that no, I feel like we're safe. I feel like we're safe with the
It
aunties.
was in the credits, so I think it's fair
Fair,
game.
fair, fair. And
Not,
if you haven't seen the, episode 2 by now, that I feel like
yeah,
it's,
yeah, you should probably, and you
I feel
probably
like it's
have.
fair. I mean, trust
So
me.
let's talk about that. We've seen a couple of episodes now. They've been released. How much fun's it kind of been for all of you seeing the response from fans so far? Because it's been bonkers.
It's been so incredibly rewarding, especially because, so much heart went into this show from the very beginning, from way before I was a part of it. So much heart and so much love, not just for the specific cultural communities that were depicted, but for the character, for the Marvel universe, so much respect and so much depth that everybody wanted to, pay attention to in this particular piece. And with any piece of art, whether it is theater or a book or a series or whatever, you never really know until you launch that and hand it over to the public whether it's going to go over as well as you hope. So it's a little bit like, this long awaited anticipation. And the response has been even better than I ever could have hoped. I mean, my biggest hope was that everyone would fall in love with Iman Vellani as much as I have fallen in love with her as a person and as an actress, because she is just the world. I don't know that there is another. I don't think there is a better Kamala Khan in the world than her. She's just the perfect person for it, and she's just lovely. And I'm so excited for the world to have her. So yeah, it's been really wonderful. It's also been really wonderful hearing from all different demographics, which was the hope. Obviously there's a connection to a particular cultural and a particular religious community, but there's so much story there, and there's so many layers to this story. And whether it's people saying, oh my god, it's so nice to see a show that's about someone stepping into their power rather than already being super powerful, or that was so great to see family so much in a show like this. Like it's really great to see the different ways that people are connecting with it, because it feels like there's something for everyone.
And there really is, based on all the things that you just said, which is one of the things that makes the show great. I seems like each week, and I know we're only a couple weeks in, we're getting more and more about the Pakistani culture and Kamala's superhero journey. How important is that for you to see that represented, not just on the screen, but on a major Marvel platform?
I don't think we can stress enough how powerful that is. In and again, not just specifically because it represents the Muslim Pakistani community, and because they are feeling or getting to see themselves represented, but also because there are many people who don't have any experience other than maybe what they see on the news or they hear on the radio or whatever with that particular culture, with that particular religion. And so to be able to have that sense of, oh, these are my neighbors, these are the people next door, this is my superhero, and step into that world and have people introduced to it in a respectful, thoughtful, and enjoyable way is really, 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 like, I hesitate to say the word important because I don't want to be lofty about it, but I think it is. I think it's really important that we all stay open to stories from different cultures, from different demographics than we are necessarily a part of, because that's the only way to learn about people when you aren't just right in front of them. If you don't have those people in your circle or in your city or in your state or wherever you are, this is your chance to meet and learn all about that culture, all about those folks. And also, this is one story that has Muslim Pakistanis and Muslim Pakistanis and Indian Muslims and Black Muslims and people of all different genders and orientations and all of that. It's just one story. So it can't represent the totality of a culture or the totality of a religion or the totality of that demographic, but it is a relatable enough story that I think it's going to open up people's imagination, open up people's excitement to learn more. And that right there, I mean, that's the impact of storytelling right there, is getting to open people's minds and have them more interested to dive deeper into something they didn't know about.
Absolutely. Very, very well put. I want you to take us back to the casting process a bit, especially the ultra secretive Marvel casting process. How much did you actually even know about your role going into the show? Never mind the audition.
I knew my name.
Did they give you the right name?
Oh, yeah.
Because they've been known to give you the
They
not
did give me the
okay.
right name, which I appreciated. But yeah, no, the audition side's nowhere, anywhere, as far as I know, in the series. Didn't know, they are very smart to do that for a number of reasons. One is that it builds excitement, at least for me. Like, it gets me excited because in addition to being an actress, I am also, on the flip side, a huge fangirl of so many different things. Whether it's gaming or Marvel or sci-fi or fantasy fiction, I love like diving into all that. Before we started rolling, we were talking about Game of Thrones, that same thing. And so getting to go to work every day and be like, ooh, what am I going to find out today? Ooh, what's happening? Oh, this is happening. Cool. And it also, I think, by not necessarily giving us all that information at the beginning, we get more of a chance to play because there's a little more of my bandwidth, because if I don't have a script a long time in advance and I know I'm going to be on set, I know I'm going to need to do a lot of imagining ahead of time to put myself into this situation, to be prepared to maybe improvise if they want that, or to maybe, discuss the character with them and see how it develops. So I really do enjoy that sense of like, ooh, what's coming today? But yeah, no, I knew a whole lot of nothing.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the way I want to go into it too. So you and I are of the same mind in that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously different for different shows and different mediums. And, like sometimes no one wants to get 20 pages of a script the day before they're supposed to shoot it. Like if they're very respectful in the sense that, like, obviously if you have more to do, that you get it in time to learn it. But for this one in particular, it was nothing but fun.
And that's awesome. That's good to hear. So, like I said, you're a famous member of the Illuminaunties, which I thought was a really, really funny thing that we got introduced to in episode 2. Rumor has it, though, and it was said in the episode that you guys know it all. So, is it more than just gossiping aunties here? Is there more to it that we're going to find out?
I mean, Auntie knows best.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm not gonna argue with you.
I've met an Indian auntie. You know that Auntie always knows best. So, and every auntie knows best.
Sure.
So, I mean, obviously they know things. I can't tell you what they know because
of course not. No.
We have future episodes to get through. But obviously there's a piece of information that came out in episode 2 that was new to Kamala. So that's a little bit of something. And as time goes on, you'll see.
There you go. This is very much family story, like you were saying, and the Khan family obviously taking center stage because of Kamala. But the community also seems quite large as well. How would you describe the Khan family dynamic?
Oh, the Khan family, the immediate family?
Yes, the immediate family.
Just warm and tight. Like, that is a tight family. Even with the conflicts that they have, they are all, it all comes from love, and you can feel it. And that's what I love so much about the depiction of these characters, because quite often in South Asian families, the parents are depicted as very strict and very traditional. And there's sort of it's sort of in a two-dimensional way that, like, well, that's what they are and that's how it is. And that's so funny. But in this story, especially as we move on, like in episode 2, you see that it comes from such a place of love and wanting to protect their child and wanting to love their child, and just maybe not understanding the things that she's going through, but wanting the best for her. And on the flip side, the kids, even though they're like, Amir is obviously grown. He's still a kid. Like, you're still a kid until you're 45 or even past that. But when your mom's around, but there is this, I got you. There's this. Okay, yeah, we're at odds, but ultimately, I got you, and you can see that. You can see that warmth between them. So. I think it's really just all about them being so tight. I love that you also get to meet Amir's fiance in episode 2, because she brings a wonderful dynamic and a sense of, like, she is a part of this community, but she's not yet a part of this family. So learning how she gets absorbed into the family and how warm they are with her. Like, I just think it's, like I said, it's such a great depiction of of this culture for people who've never seen it before, because you realize they're, no one, everybody at their core just cares about their family. All the parents want the best for their children. All the children want to bust out from under their parents. Like, it's all very, very universal.
That is very, very true. We're talking to Anjali Bhimani, of course, plays Aunty Ruby on Miss Marvel, which you can see every Wednesday. She does other stuff too. We'll get into that here in just a second. But this is, if you haven't watched episode 2 yet, skip this part because we got to talk about just a little bit of something.
Okay.
So this particular question, skip this part if you haven't watched episode 2 yet.
Okay, you're gonna have to give them a timestamp to come back, though.
Yes, I will do that. Okay,
I want to take care of the people.
So like you said, Kamala's determined to find out more about this Bengal. And, what awakened her powers and things like that. But, just like we don't talk about Bruno, like they said in Encanto, we don't talk about Aisha, apparently, either. So, Aunty Ruby had a little bit of a bombshell. We still have to figure out what's going on there. But how much do you think she actually knows? How much can you tease for us? How much is actually known about Aisha?
How much is known in general, or how much does Aunty Ruby know?
Well, let's go with Aunty Ruby.
I think Aunty Ruby always knows a little more than she lets on. I feel like at least I felt this way, like when I was playing her, like she's a little bit like the first point of entry for the aunties. Like when information comes in, boom, then it goes out to all the aunties. So she's like the curator of what goes out.
She's the hub. She's the hub of the Illuminaunties.
Yeah, exactly. She's like the mayor of Facebook. She's like the mayor of the Illuminaunties. She's like the lady. That's how I played her, or at least how I see her, because she takes such delight in sharing information. And yeah, it's gossipy, but it's also, oh, I got you. We need to tell everybody about this. Great. There's a problem. We need to tell everybody. Great. There's something awesome. We need to tell everybody. Great. I got you. Let me get on my phone. All of that. And you can tell and this is patterned after my aunties too. There is a relishing of life that I love about Aunty Ruby. There are different aunties in the show, and you'll see some that are maybe a little more sour than others, but she's just game. And I love that about her. And I love that. I mean, I secretly, not secretly, secrets out. This is the auntie I would hope I would be.
And that is amazing.
And that's to be able to play that. Thank God, the creators, Sana and Bisha and everybody were very open, and especially Mira, who directed that episode, very open to bring what you want to this character. And I'm glad they let me bring me to my character.
Which is incredible. Now, I've seen a little bit of chatter about this on social media. You mentioned Bisha. I want to talk about this. I wanted to bring it up for anybody that hasn't seen it. I know how much you love the fact that Kamala referred to the powers hard light. That's very near and dear to you, and obviously Bisha picked up on it too. So tell us about that and that little connection for anybody that doesn't know.
Well, yeah, sure. So for anybody who doesn't know, I also play a character named Symmetra in a game called Overwatch, and Symmetra's powers come from hard light technology, where she creates things out of light in the future, in this futuristic world that we live in. That said, I mean, I was even talking with one of the writers of Overwatch after the fact. We were talking about the episode, and he was like, in fairness, I feel like we didn't invent hard light as a concept. I think it's I feel like it's something that the fantasy community has had in their pocket for a while. But I do love, as soon as they said it in episode 2, when we were at the premiere, I was like, oh, really? Oh, excellent. My heart is warmed. This is lovely. And then to see Bisha's tweet the other day where she said that after work, she would go home and play Overwatch for an hour, and she had my voice in her head. I had no idea that was happening. So that was a lovely surprise that I found out. I was yesterday years old when I learned that. So
there you go. Always nice to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anjali, before I let you go, we've only gotten to see a brief few moments of Aunty Ruby up to this point, obviously. Could we see her make a little bit more of an impact coming up in future episodes?
Short answer is yes.
And if that's all you can give me, I totally get that, because we just talked about that.
That's literally all I can give you, because it's on IMDb. So that's fair. Like I said before the show, I am so anti-spoiler. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. And I like you, so I would rather not do that.
They'd kill me anyway. They would show up at my house. And
can I tell you, I did not. So we started shooting, or my part, I at least started shooting in November of 2020. I did not tell my husband what I was shooting until March of this year when they announced that.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, I can't, I trust no one. I trust no one. I love you, and I trust you with my life, but you might get too excited and tell a friend.
You're going to get in every Marvel movie now and show just because of that level of commitment. Just that alone is going to get you cameo after cameo.
Opposite. That is the one thing about me that is the complete opposite of Aunty Ruby. I am a vault. I am more afraid of NDAs than the IRS. I am like Fort Knox.
Gosh, I love that. Well, you're going to have to find out for yourselves just like we will with every Wednesday. I know you're going to be watching it. That is Miss Marvel on Disney+. By the way, just as a side note, she mentioned Overwatch. We get the Overwatch 2 beta coming up in a couple of weeks as well. I know that you're excited about that, so we'll keep our eyes on that.
Yeah, as we are recording, they are putting there's a stream coming up very, very, very soon that we're going to learn more about.
Ooh, see, even more teases, and that's all you're going to get from her because she's a vault. It's Anjali Bhimani. Thank you so much for joining me this week.
Thank you.